is the second lowest scoring half of the season for Dennis Scott with only 6 points here in the first half. He had 3 against Virginia in an earlier meeting this year. He will inbound the ball for Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets leading 33-30. Second half action ready to go. And here again, the legendary voice of Georgia Tech Athletics, Al Ciraldo.
Okay, Neil Williamson. Second half about to get underway. Tech 33, Virginia 30. Both teams hitting 39% of their field goals. Both teams rebounding 19 apiece. Tech's difference in the ball game in the first half, 1 more field goal and 1 more charity toss. Rather, Tech 3-pointers with the difference, we should say. All right, Lenny Wirtz will hand the basketball to Dennis Scott. Scott to Anderson. Clock ticks. We start the second half in the championship round of the 37th annual ACC tournament. Brian Oliver to McNeil, the motion offense. On the right wing, it goes to Anderson. Oliver now shooting. Here's Oliver's 5-foot jumper, good, and Brian Oliver, the Tech captain, comes through. Leading star with 12 points. Tech leads by 5, 35-30. Crotty over to Jeffries. Jeffries to Anthony Oliver against Brian Oliver. On the matchup zone. Here's the low post this time at Turner. Turner turns around, kicks it back out to Crotty. Crotty to 5th at the top of the circle. They go to Crotty. Crotty on the dribble. Swings it over on the left side to Anthony Oliver, to Crotty, to Oliver. They play catch. Oliver's long one way out court. It's good. A 3-pointer for Anthony Oliver. 35-33. Tech lead cut to 2. Clock ticks. 19-13 remaining in the championship game. All right, here's Brian Oliver, top of the key to McNeil. Johnny back in there. They go into the corner on the left side to Anderson. Brian Oliver faking as Anderson pumps a long one out of the corner. No good this time. Rebounded by Anthony Oliver. To Crotty. Crotty driving to Stith. Stith drives that baseline. Pumps a 7-foot jumper. No good. Rebounded by Jeffries. Out kicks it back out to Anthony Oliver. They go to Crotty. They go to Stith on the left wing. Back to Crotty. Checking a matchup zone. They go to the high post to Turner. Turner out to Anthony Oliver. In the corner it goes to Stith. Stith picked up by Scott in the zone. Way out to Crotty, the playmaker. He works the high post to Turner. Turner kicks it back out. Crotty fakes. 23 seconds. Turner's 15-foot jumper is no good. Rebounded by Dennis Scott, who in the first half had, for Georgia Tech, 6 rebounds, so he has 7 in the ball game. Here's Dennis Scott working the baseline to Brian Oliver. He comes way out to Anderson. Anderson at the point guard will direct traffic. Here's Anderson on the right wing against that box and 1. On the left wing, Scott's long 3-pointer. No good this time. Rebounded by McNeil, and we're going to have a foul on the play. A blocking foul against Georgia Tech on the board.
It looks like they're going to call it against Malcolm Mackey. No, they called it on Johnny McNeil, and that means 3 on McNeil, Al. First foul of the half, but 3 personals on Johnny McNeil.
Out of bounds for the Virginia Cavaliers. Long pass from Crotty to Stith. Stith to Crotty on the left wing, top of the circle. Crotty fakes, doesn't shoot. Works the right of the key this time to Turner. He kicks it back out to Crotty. Crotty will set it up on the offense and direct the traffic. Tech 35, Virginia 33. Good ball game brewing. Here's Oliver, way out court now. Works it to Crotty. Crotty, long one out of the corner by Turner is good. 3-pointer. 35-36, Virginia by 1 rather. Here's Brian Oliver. Brian Oliver on the dribble from left court to center court, setting up the offense. Works the right wing to Anderson. Anderson faking, not shooting. Pumps a 15-foot jumper long and good. A 3-pointer. They give him a 3-pointer in that one. 12 points for Kenny Anderson as they swap 3-pointers. 38-36, Tech by 2. Crotty against that matchup zone. Crotty way out court this time. He works it to Jeffries. Jeffries to Crotty. Crotty slowly on the dribble. Works on the left side to Oliver. Oliver back to Crotty. Crotty to Stith. Stith to Crotty. Top of the circle to Turner. They go left side to Oliver. Shot clock at 20 seconds. Virginia working it around methodically. 38-36, Georgia Tech clock ticks at 16:50 remaining in the ball game. Here's Crotty behind the pick. Oliver on the left wing. Way out to Jeffries. Jeffries to Stith. Here's Crotty's long 3-pointer. No good. Rebounded by Scott. Scott dominating the boards. His 8th rebound of the ball game. Anderson in the offensive zone. To the right of the circle. Here's Anderson now dribbling out court. Fakes. Works to Brian Oliver. 3-pointer by Brian Oliver is no good. Rebounded by Jeffries. Jeffries outlet pass to Crotty. Crotty going all the way. A 16-foot jumper is good. Tie ball game. Tech 38, Virginia 38. As the Jackets perimeter shooting goes a little cool. It was cool in the first half. Here's Anderson on the dribble. Works on the right wing to Scott in 3-point line. Dennis has come out from the low post. Top of the key to Oliver. Oliver works to Anderson. Anderson in the left corner in 3-point land. Pumps a low one. Good on Kenny Anderson with his third 3-pointer. 15 for the sensational freshman. It's 41-38, check by 3. Here's Anthony Oliver to Jeffries. Jeffries works to Turner. Turner way out court to Oliver. They go to Stiff. Stiff low post to Jeffries. Jeffries turns around, pumps a 7-foot jumper. No good. Rebounded by Jeffries. Stick back by Jeffries. Is blocked by Mackey. And the official calls a foul on the play against Mackey.
They're going to call it on Brian Oliver. Mackey went up and blocked it, but first Oliver had grabbed Jeffries on the arm there. So Brian Oliver picks up his first personal. It's the second team foul on Georgia Tech.
To the gift lane for 2 goes Ted Jeffries, yet to score in the ball game. Big 6'7" freshman out of Demassa High School in the Washington, D.C. area. Out of Bowie, Maryland. Let's watch the big 6'7" freshman. Terry Holland pacing up and down. He very seldom sits down in front of that bench. Jeffries' first of 2 is in the air and no good. The left-hander getting set for his second of 2. Jeffries on the season, 64% of his gift tosses. Jeffries' second of 2 coming up. The left-hander set. A one-hander by the left-hander. In the air. Good. And we've got an official timeout with a score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Georgia Tech 41, Virginia 39. 15:41 on the clock in the ball game. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
Honey, kids, Frank is here with a cab.
Where are you taking the family, Mr. Valentine?
We're going to Walt Disney World.
No kidding. On Delta?
We're going to see Mickey Mouse and Goofy and Pluto.
Pluto? I never knew Delta flew that far.
Make your dreams of the Magic Kingdom come true on Delta, the official airline of Walt Disney World.
Here you are, folks. Delta.
Are we there yet? Where's Mickey?
Wait a minute. Where's Mommy?
The Gorilla on top of the building, the 10 in the parking lot, the gigantic sale at West Georgia Nissan. Come on, come all, and get your deal today. $99 down, $159.95 a month for a brand new 90 Sentra or pickup. West Georgia Nissan will match your down payment up to $2,000 on a Maxima 240 or 300ZX. Dealer invoice on all other Nissan models. Hurray, 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 West Georgia Nissan.
Georgia Tech with a 2-point lead over Virginia, 41-39. Second half action of the championship game of the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament from the Charlotte Coliseum. 15:41 to play. And we have a winner of today's championship round of ACC Trivia, brought to you by BC Headache Remedy. Our winner is Tony LaVorgna of Atlanta. He has won a supply of BC products, a copy of Dodge Luck, and a weekend for 2 and Sunday brunch at Atlanta's Stouffer Waverly Hotel because he was able to answer this question. Name for us the only AC schools to have gone to the Final Four without winning the ACC tournament. The answer, Virginia did it in 1981 and 1984. Duke did it last season. Tony LaVorgna, our grand prize winner today. Congratulations to him. Kenny Anderson with a couple of three-pointers here in the second half for Georgia Tech. Brian Oliver has hit a regular bucket. Virginia has countered. Kenny Turner with a three-pointer. Anthony Oliver has knocked down a tray. Crotty has 2, and Ted Jeffries 1. So pretty much the teams have matched up here in the second half. Tech with the ball with a 2-point lead.
All right, when time is in, the inbound passer, Malcolm Mackey, 3M. Malik Mackey. All-American High School out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. 6'10" youngster. He will pass in to Kenny Anderson, who is Jackets' high scorer with 15. Oliver has 12 for the Jackets. Scott has been held scoreless. Again, the junk defense is working. But again, as we mentioned, when you go to the box and 1 or your triangle 2, you're going to leave somebody open, and that's all you've got to do is hit the perimeter shots because you've got a lot of daylight. 15:41 on the clock in the championship game. For Virginia, Turner 11, Brian Stiff has 10. Lenny Wirtz with the basketball. He'll give it to Mackey, and we'll be about ready to go. Mackey will pass in to Anderson. He'll walk it down. Talks to Malcolm as he walks it down, passing a timeline. Virginia with a box and 1. On the right wing to Brian Oliver, Tech's captain. He's had a great tournament. On the left wing, it goes to Brown. Brown swings to the left wing this time to Anderson. Anderson has a pick. Tries around the pick now. Comes off to the top of the circle to Carl Brown, who's in the ball game. Here's Anderson now. Top of the circle to Brian Oliver. Brian has a pick. Doesn't take it. His pass play back out court to Scott. Scott works to Oliver. Oliver drives the baseline and the official says that Oliver is fouled on the way to the basket. So a foul will go charging against Virginia.
Well, the foul's on Ted Jeffries. That's his first personal, first team foul against Virginia in the half as Jeffries tried to cut off the baseline for Brian Oliver, but got there too late.
Tech's captain will be the trigger man from the end zone. Into Scott in the right corner. Scott out court to Anderson. Anderson now on the dribble to the top of the key. Right of the key. Anderson swings on the left wing to Oliver. Oliver double team. Works it out to Scott. Scott to Anderson. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Tech's Kenny Anderson, the freshman sensation, driving. Let's see the official call. He's going to call. See what he calls. Maybe he called a foul on the play against Georgia Tech. Dennis Scott, the second personal foul.
That's the third on the team.
Tech leads 41-39. Here's Crotty in the offensive zone. Works over to Jeffries. Jeffries to Crotty. Crotty in the corner to Stith. Stith in three-point land, faking. Works to Crotty. Crotty to Turner. Turner to Anthony Oliver against Brian Oliver. Low post to Jeffries. Kicks it back out to Anthony Oliver. Here's Turner in the foul lane. Brian Stith driving. Pulls up. Pumps a 15-foot jumper. No good. Rebounded by Brian Oliver. Outlet pass to Anderson. Anderson dribbling behind his back into the offensive zone. Goes to the left of the key. Works out to Carl Brown. Brown to Brian Oliver. Brian to Scott. Scott three-pointer. Long one. Good. Scott with a three-pointer for Georgia Tech. His first of the ball game. He has 9 points. Tech leads 44-39 by 5. Virginia on the attack. Here's Crotty, long range. Crotty works the corner. Anthony Oliver's 15-footer. Good. Anthony Oliver enters with a 15-footer for Virginia. 9 points for Anthony Oliver. 44-41, Tech by 3. On the dribble in the offensive zone is Kenny Anderson. Anderson on the right wing. Still on the dribble against the Bucks and 1. Way out court, it goes to Brian Oliver. Brian on the dribble. Works out to Anderson. Anderson on the wing. Low post to Malcolm Mackey. Mackey kicks it back out, but the ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll be out of bounds for Georgia Tech.
Ball was deflected by Stith on the double team, and then Ted Jeffries tried to save it on its way out of bounds. Instead, stepped on the end line when he touched it.
All right, Brian Oliver will trigger it in. Blunden checks in for Virginia. The second string quarterback, replacing Ted Jeffries. 6'7" for 6'7". All right, Captain Brian with the basketball. The Wills High kid of Smyrna, Georgia. Way out court to Anderson. Anderson on the wing, faking, not shooting. Driving. Anderson dribbling out court now. Now starts to drive inward. Drives that baseline, comes out of there on the left, pulls up, works it out to Brian Oliver at the top of the circle. Brian Oliver has a pick, goes all the way, pulls up, pumps a 7-foot jumper, no good, air ball, taken out of the air by Blunden, but Blunden is out of bounds. He tried to save it and went out of bounds. It's out of bounds for Georgia Tech. And on the court for Georgia Tech, hurt on the play, Brian Oliver.
Mm-hmm. Surrounded by his teammates already.
Brando Woodson comes out. Well, he got a clamp or a Charlie horse. Let's hope it's that.
Yeah.
Johnny McNeil will check in for Brian Oliver with the score on the scoreboard, 44 Tech. The Cavaliers 41 with 13:27 on the clock. Now Bobby Crimmins comes over. Brian will try to work it out. He's being helped to the Tech bench by Coach Crimmins and Crandall Woodson, and he gets an ovation. He goes to the Tech bench, favoring his left leg. He goes out with 12 points, 3 3-pointers in the first half, 44-41. Crandall Woodson working him over. It'll be out of bounds for the Jackets from the Tech end zone. Scott will be a trigger man. Scott works it out to Johnny McNeil. McNeil out to Anderson on that left wing. Anderson on the dribble. Top of the key. Goes into the paint. Pumps a 10-foot jumper. No good, air ball. Taken out of the air by Anthony Oliver. Here's Anthony Oliver dribbling. Over to Crotty. Crotty comes to the top of the circle. Fakes, doesn't shoot. He works out to Blunden. Blunden taking a matchup zone enough. Official's going to call a foul on the play against Georgia Tech. So it's out of bounds for the Cavaliers front court. Foul call against Kenny Anderson, and for Kenny, that's his second personal foul. Fourth team foul against the Jackets. Virginia has only one team foul. Crotty working it against Tech's matchup zone. Slowly on the dribble. Long range on the left wing. Way out to Turner, top of the circle. They go to Anthony Oliver to Turner. Left side this time to Crotty. Crotty to Anthony Oliver. He lost the ball, and the official is going to call a charging foul against Anthony Oliver, and that is his fourth personal foul.
That's big trouble for Terry Holland's Virginia team. Anthony Oliver, as you mentioned, Al picked up his fourth. That's 2 team fouls. The sneaker has come off of Brian Oliver's left foot, and it looks like they're working on the ankle, Al.
That's the one that he's had trouble with, that stress fracture throughout the season. But he's been playing with pain, and all chances are he'll be back in the ball game if at all possible. All right, the Jackets on the attack in that backcourt, walking it down. Kenny Anderson, the freshman sensation in the offensive zone. Long range, could be the freshman of the year in the nation. All right, here's Brown. Long range, back to Kenny Anderson. Right of the circle. Kenny on the dribble slowly. Works to Carl Brown. Brown right side against that matchup zone. They go to the left side on the dribble. Here's Anderson looking in low, but works his way out. Carl Brown faking, not shooting. Works to Anderson's long three-pointer. No good. Anderson a little cold shooting out there. Driving goes Crotty. Crotty just sits. Stiff pulls up, goes by his man, and an easy shot is up and in. He went right by. That time, Oliver, rather by Brown for an easy two-pointer. 44-43. Tech trails by one. The thriller starts to brew with 12-14 remaining in the ball game. Top of the key to Brown. Brown swings on the left. Scott, three-pointer. Long one. Good. Scott comes answering back with a three-pointer. They only say two. So give him only two. That's 11 in the ball game for Scott. Had one close there. Crotty against Tech, 46-43. Crotty works to Blunden. Blunden at the foul lane in the corner to Kirby, the footballer. Out court to Crotty. Crotty works to Stiff. They go right side to Turner. Turner against the matchup zone. Way out to Crotty. He'll set it up again. Shot clock's at 23 seconds. All right, here's Crotty slowly on the dribble. The left-hander on the left side works on the wing to Stiff. Stiff against the matchup zone. Way out to Kirby. Kirby goes right side to Crotty. Crotty in the corner to Turner to Crotty. Crotty faking, driving underneath, passing on the low post. Blunden shot is up, no good. Rebounded by Dennis Scott, who's done a job on the board. Outlet pass to Anderson. Anderson pushing it down in the offensive zone. His pass to McNeil. McNeil's bunny is up and in. Good assist. That time to Kenny Anderson, and Johnny McNeil's in the scoring column. 48-43 Jackets by 5. Crotty on the wing to Stiff. Stiff against McNeil in the matchup. Here's Crotty now at the top of the circle. Way out court now. Working out court some 30 feet for the basket. Crotty takes his time. Anderson picks him up. Works on the left wing in a corner. Turner. The shot is blocked by Scott. Outlet pass. Mackey to Scott. Scott driving into the offensive zone. Goes by his man. Reverses. Pumps a 10-foot jumper. No good. He tried to bank one off the glass. Rolling around the rim. 48-43 Tech by 5. 10:40 on the clock. Crotty out to Blunden. Blunden to Crotty. Crotty on the right wing to Stiff. Stiff three-pointer. Long one is no good. Rebounded by Scott again, who gets good position. Scott to Anderson. Anderson driving in the offensive zone. Anderson goes all the way. His shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Kenny Turner. Turner's outlet pass to Crotty. Tech missing some easy close shots. 48-43 Tech by 5. 10:16 on the clock. The Virginia crowd's back in the ball game. Here's Crotty. Long range against the matchup zone on the dribble. Has a pick. Works the corner to Kenny Turner. Turner out court, long range to Kirby. Left side to Blunden. Blunden to Crotty. Crotty's 10-foot jumper on the baseline. No good. Air ball taken out of the air by Mackey. Mackey to Anderson. Anderson pushing it down in the offensive zone. Over to Scott. Scott pulls up. A long one by Dennis. It's no good. Rebounded by Stiff that time. Stiff out court to Crotty. Crotty top of the key to Kirby. Kirby pumps a long one. It's no good. Rebounded by Blunden. Blunden tossed it back into Kirby. Kirby to Stiff on the right baseline. He comes out court on the right side, and they'll slow the tempo down. Out to Crotty. Crotty checks Terry Holland. 48-43, Tech by 5. 9:30 remaining in the ball game, brother and sister. Kirby, the championship game. Here's Kirby. Swings left wing. Turner's long one out of the corner. Good three-pointer for Kenny Turner. He has 14 points on three-pointers. And there's an official timeout on the court with a score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Georgia Tech 48, Virginia 46, 9:22. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
Sports announcer Jack Buck for Budweiser.
You know, as a sports announcer, you can get pretty wrapped up in the game you're covering. To be a good one, though, you have to control what you say and how you sound over the air. Of course, control isn't just important for sports announcers. We all need it, especially when it comes to drinking. Knowing when to say when, having personal control over how much you drink, is one way to take care of yourself and everyone around you.
A reminder from Budweiser, the king of beers. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Spring has arrived at Lowe's. 6x8-foot treated stockade fence panels, $25 a panel. And 10-foot sections of cedar split rail fence resist insects and decay. And add to the finish of the outside appearance 2x8-foot treated lattice panels, $5.98 each. Have your home looking like a million from Lowe's of Carrollton.
Midway through the second half, the championship game of the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament, and Georgia Tech leading Virginia 48-46. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the WCNN Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
B92 WBTR Carrollton, serving West Georgia and East Alabama in FM stereo at 92.1.
Virginia has made a reputation of being a pesky team that hangs around, and so far the Cavaliers have done that. Georgia Tech almost had a chance to lengthen that lead a little bit there with a 5-point advantage. Tech came down, missed a couple of easy shots, and also just missed on a couple of long three-point attempts. Then Turner finally countered with a three for Virginia, slicing the Tech advantage to only 2 points. 9:22 to play here in the second half. Brian Oliver is out of the game for Georgia Tech. He has been out since the 13:20 mark of the game. At that time, the Jackets led by 3. It looks like the stress fracture was re-aggravated after he missed a shot on the left wing. Apparently, he has the sneaker back on and is limbering up in the tunnel back behind the Georgia Tech bench, the tunnel which leads to the 8 locker rooms, which have been utilized here at the tournament so far. And here he comes out of the tunnel, Al.
Brian Oliver will check in for the Jackets. Coach Bobby talking to him. He's at the scorer's table. But they'll go on. All right, Mackey will pass in Anderson. Anderson on the dribble. 9:20 on the clock in the ball game. Tech 48, Virginia 46. A low scoring affair, but a good defensive battle. Anderson on the right wing. Out to Brown, top of the circle. To Scott in three-point line. He's double teamed out there. Here's Scott on the dribble. Gives off to Anderson. Anderson against the zone. On a low post to McNeil. McNeil kicks it back out to Anderson. He'll pass it back to Brown on a nice maneuver. Brown over to Scott. Scott, three-pointer. Long one. No good. Rebounded by Blunden. Blunden's all that pass to Crotty. Crotty to Stith. Stith tries a baseline. And let's see the official calls a foul in the play against Georgia Tech's Kenny Anderson. Anderson can't believe that one.
I can't either, Al. I didn't know that if there was that much contact. I thought Stith just tripped himself. That's 3 on Kenny Anderson, 5 on the Jackets here in the second half.
Out of bounds. Here's Brian Oliver checking in for Georgia Tech. Replacing Malcolm Mackey. Mackey had a good first half with 8 points. Out of bounds for the Cavaliers from their end zone. Kirby's your trigger man. Way out court to Crotty. Crotty will set it up. Crotty on the dribble. Tech with their matchup zone. Sort of a 1-2-2 matchup. Crotty out to Kirby. Now with a 1-2-2 becomes a 2-3. Here's Turner, way out court to Kirby. Kirby top of the circle to Crotty, long range on the right side to Blunden, right of the key. Now to Kirby. Kirby left of the key. Out to Blunden. Blunden to Crotty. Crotty works back to Blunden. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Blunden, top of the circle to Kirby on the left wing. They play catch way out court. Here's Crotty to Kirby. Tech leads by 2. Clock ticks. Low post to Stith. Stith double team. Kicks it to Kirby. Kirby's long shot is no good. And it goes out of bounds for Georgia Tech. Out of bounds for the Jackets. The Jackets have the basketball, a 2-point lead. The clock ticks at 8:15 remaining here in the ball game, championship game of the ACC tournament at Charlotte's Coliseum. 25,000 plus looking on. Brian Oliver on the right wing to Brown. Brian has played all year with that stress fracture. Here's Anderson on the right baseline. Out. Oliver's long one is no good. Rebounded by Scott. Six-pack by Scott is good. Dennis Scott on a six-pack. 13 for Dennis Scott. 50-46, Tech by 4. Back on the attack for the Virginia Cavaliers is Crotty. Crotty to Kirby on the left wing, long range. To Blunden, to Crotty. They go right side, long range. Works a corner this time to Stith against Scott. Low post to Turner. Kicks it back out to Stith. Stith driving. Out to Crotty. Crotty back to Turner. Turner on that right corner to Crotty. Shot clock at 23 seconds. Here's Blunden. Way out. Turner drives that baseline. 10-foot jumper by Turner is no good. Rebounded by Johnny McNeil. Outlet pass to Anderson. Anderson pushing it down on the dribble. Passing a timeline. Goes all the way to Oliver on the right wing. Oliver. Cross-court pass to Brown. Brown faking, not shooting. Brown has been in a shooting slump in the last 4 or 5 games. Only 1 field goal from the outer circles. All right, here's Oliver working to Anderson in the right corner. Anderson out of that corner to Oliver. They go top of the key to Brown. Brown works to Oliver. Oliver to Anderson. Anderson pumps a long one out of the corner. No good. And it's rebounded by Kirby for Virginia. Kirby driving all the way. His pass to Stith. Stith 15-foot jumper. No good. Rebounded by Carl Brown. Double teamed in that backcourt. Carl on the dribble. And they're going to call a time and a jump ball. I don't see Virginia's ball out of bounds.
Questionable call there as Stith and Blunden bottled up Brown in the corner, and Stith got a hand on it for maybe a second or two. decide to call the tie-up, and the possession arrow pointing for Virginia. Well, there'll be a timeout on the floor. Dennis Scott has scored 7 of Georgia Tech's last 9 points, and the Jackets are leading the Cavaliers of Virginia 50-46. 6:48 to play in the championship game with a timeout on the court. We'll be back with more second half action on the WCNN Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
If you've been putting off upgrading your furnace to lower your energy bills, now's the time to talk with your Georgia independent Lennox dealer about the new Lennox Whisper Heat gas furnace. Its high efficiency rating of up to 80% AFUE can really save you money each month on your bills. And like its name, Whisper Heat is whisper quiet. Find out how easy it is to replace your old furnace with an energy-efficient Whisper Heat gas furnace from your Lennox dealer, who carries energy-wise natural gas heating and cooling equipment.
4th of July at Lake Carroll, B92 is there. Mayfest downtown, B92 is there. City Council or Commissioners meeting, WBTR is there. Hawks game, high school football, the Bulldogs, the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. B92 is there. All the news, all the sports, and music of the last 3 decades. In FM stereo at 92.1, B92, WBTR from Carrollton.
6:48 remaining on the clock here in second half action of the title game of the ACC tournament from the Charlotte Coliseum at Georgia Tech. Hanging on against Virginia, 50-46. The Yellow Jackets with the lead. As mentioned, Dennis Scott with 7 of the last 9 points for the Yellow Jackets. Scott with 13 points in the game. While that's well under his season average, Dennis has made up for it elsewhere. He leads the Yellow Jackets rebounding effort with 11 boards so far. Dennis Scott doing a great job off the glass for the Jackets. Kenny Anderson with 15 points. Brian Oliver with 12 points. Oliver was out for about 5 minutes with that sore left ankle of his. He's had the stress fracture in it all year. Twisted it at the 13:20 mark. Returned 5 minutes later. Virginia with the ball, trailing by 4.
Out of bounds for the Cavaliers, the Wahoos. Front court, Smith will trigger it in when time is in. 6:48 on the clock in the ball game. It's been a low-scoring affair. Virginia methodically likes to run the clock, and they play that good defense. Out of bounds for the Cavaliers, as we mentioned, front court. It'll be passed in. Smith to Crotty. Crotty slowly on the dribble. Works to Oliver, long range. Oliver to Crotty. Crotty in the corner to Smith. Smith to Turner. Turner right of the key. Out to Crotty. Crotty drives into the paint. Comes out of there to Oliver. To Smith on the left side. Scott on Smith. Way out to Crotty. Crotty works the corner to Anthony Oliver. Anthony Oliver low post to Blunden. Blunden kicks it back out to Anthony Oliver on the right side. Way out to Crotty. Crotty down the middle. Out court 25 feet. There's Crotty on the dribble. Works the top of the key to Turner. Right side to Anthony Oliver. Anthony works to Crotty. Crotty on the dribble. Pulls up here. Turner's long one with 12 seconds. No good. Rebounded by Kenny Anderson. And he lost the ball. But McNeil came up with a loose basketball. Over to Anderson. Tech 50. Virginia 46. 6:05 on the clock in the ball game. Tech has the basketball. Anderson in the offensive zone, long range against the matchup zone in the box and one. Way out court to Brown. Brown works to Brian Oliver. Here's Brian Oliver to McNeil as McNeil comes out from the low post to Anderson on the motion offense. Anderson on the wing to Brian Oliver. Oliver driving. Pumps a 10-foot jumper. Rolls around. No good. Rebounded by Blunden. Blunden outlet pass to Crotty. Crotty up court to Smith. Smith long range. Works it out to Turner. Turner to Crotty. Crotty looking for a man to pass to. Works the high post to Turner to Anthony Oliver to Blunden. Blunden way out to Smith. Smith works the low post to Turner. Turner turns around. His shot is up. No good. Big scramble. Rebounded by Turner. Stick back by Turner. Blocked by Scott. Here's Brown going all the way. Over to Scott. Scott's long one. Good. Scott bombing. A 25-footer. 16 for Dennis Scott. He now passes Rich Younkus for 816 points in one season. The new record of Dennis Scott in one season. Tech lead 53-46. A long one, no good. Rebounded by Dennis Scott again, who's putting on a performance, rebounding and scoring. Here's Anderson on the dribble. Tech leads by 7. 4:53 on the clock. Anderson on the dribble in the offensive zone. Anderson kicks it to Brown. Brown on the left wing. McNeil comes out at the top of the circle to take the pass. On the right side to Anderson. He's looking in low. Anderson out to Brown, top of the circle. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Brian Oliver on the left wing to Anderson. Anderson faking, not shooting. He works to Oliver. Oliver's long three-pointer. Good. I'm Brian Oliver. Comes back with a three-pointer. So the Jackets have their biggest lead of 10 points in the ball game. Clock ticks at 4:25 remaining. Crotty on the attack. Check with the matchup zone. Crotty picked up by Anderson on the front end of the matchup zone. Like a 1-2-2 matchup on the left wing to Smith. Fifth out court to Anthony Oliver. Anthony goes around his man, works the karate, low post to Fifth. Fifth double team, and his shot is up. No good. Rebounded by, let's see, Johnny McNeil, but it was knocked out of his hands by Fifth, out of bounds for Georgia Tech.
That was a good call by Lenny Wirtz. Fifth ripped the ball out of McNeil's hands. Fifth almost should have been called for a charge there.
Player control he should have had at that time. And there's a timeout for Virginia with a score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Georgia Tech 56, Virginia 46. 4:07 on the clock in the ball game. You're listening to the WCNN Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
Belk and Arrow team up to give you what you're looking for in a dress shirt with the Arrow Dover, the Brigade, and the Arrow Bradstreet. The Arrow Dover features a classic button-down collar and two-button cuff and comfortable polyester and cotton blends that wear well. The Arrow Brigade meets your business needs with a choice of button-down or spread collars in solids or fashion stripes. And the Arrow Bradstreet features spread collar and two-button cuff for a polished business look. All are long sleeve. Arrow shirts for the quality, comfort, and fit you look for. Waiting for you now at Belk.
The Gorilla on top of the building, the 10 in the parking lot, the gigantic sale at West Georgia Nissan. Come on, come on, and get your deal today. $99 down, $159.95 a month for a brand new 90 Sentra or pickup. West Georgia Nissan will match your down payment up to $2,000 on a Maxima 240 or 300ZX. Dealer invoice on all other Nissan models. Hurray, 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 West Georgia Nissan.
Well, Dennis Scott and Brian Oliver lighting it up with three-pointers, and Georgia Tech has pulled out to a 10-point advantage, the biggest lead of the ball game so far for the 13th-rated Yellow Jackets. 56-46, Tech on top of Virginia. 4:07 to play in this ball game as Bobby Crimmins looks for his second ACC tournament title, the first one coming in Atlanta in 1985. Crimmins and company can notch number 2 here in Charlotte today.
Out of bounds for Georgia Tech in the backcourt. 56-46, Tech by 10. 4:07 on the clock. Virginia now will go into a full court press on Georgia Tech. Oliver limping will put it in bounds for the Jackets. Good move by the Jackets that time. Our Tech sets up a screen and out of bounds play in the backcourt. Virginia, full court pressure now being applied by Terry Holland's quintet. 4:07 on the clock in the ball game. Championship round of the 37th annual ACC basketball tournament at Charlotte. Over 23,500 looking on. Jam-packed Charlotte Coliseum. Lenny Wirtz talking to Oliver, waiting for the official timer to toot the whistle so that they can put the ball in play. Crowd getting anxious. All right, they're ready to go. Oliver will put in and play for Georgia Tech from the end zone, not from the backcourt to Anderson. Anderson, they all clear for Kenny. Let him go one-on-one with Crotty. Anderson on the dribble. Tough man to trap. In the offensive zone, Anderson long range. Swings on the left wing to Carl Brown. Brown top of the key to McNeil. Motion offense on the right wing to Anderson. Anderson looking in low on the play. Swings it way out to Brian Oliver, the Tech captain, to the top of the key. It goes to Anderson. He sets it up. Shot clock at 22 seconds. Here's Carl Brown on the wing. Long range in three-point land. Carl out to Brian Oliver at the top of the circle. Works it out to Anderson. 15 seconds. Low post to McNeil. Kicks it. Anderson's long one. It's good. Anderson with a three-pointer. 18 points for the sensational freshman. 59-46. Tech with the biggest lead of 13. Virginia on the attack. 3:23 remaining in the ballgame. Crotty against the matchup zone. Passing underneath. Here's a shot by Turner, and it is no good in a foul in the play. And to the gift lane, I believe will go Turner, as he was, let's see whether he was fouled in the act or not. Lenny Wirtz calls official foul on Johnny McNeil. His fourth. Johnny always comes up with 4 or 5 personal fouls in each ball game.
That's 6 personals on the Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech now on a run. The Jackets were leading 44-43 and have outscored Virginia 15-3 since then.
All right, 6'6" junior Kenny Turner will shoot 2 at the charity stripe, his first of 2. Good. 59-47, 3:18 on the clock in the ball game. Turner for his second of 2. Indianapolis youngster has had a good season. His free throw is rolling around, no good. Rebounded by Fifth. Six-pack is up and rolling around there, no good. Rebounded by Johnny McNeil again. McNeil double team, and they foul Johnny McNeil.
They're going to call it on Blunden. It'll be 1-1. No.
That's the third team foul against the Cavaliers. All right, it'll be out of bounds for the Jackets, and again the trigger man in the backcourt will be Brian Oliver. Oliver still limping, playing on that stress fracture on his left leg, trying to get circulation in it. He's had it all year. Passed in to Anderson. Anderson against Crotty and Blunden. They try to get a trap on him to Oliver. Oliver on the dribble. Oliver passing a timeline against the trapping defense. He works on the right wing to Brown. Brown goes by his man with the dribble. Underneath, he works it out to Oliver. Tech spreads their offense. They spread their offense around. They're going to milk the clock. 58-47, Tech 2:53 remaining in the ball game. Here's Oliver fouled by Crotty. That's the third Jacket. The foul against Crotty, and for Crotty, that's his second personal foul, and it's the fourth team foul on Virginia. Tech has 16 fouls. Out of bounds for the Jackets. Oliver still stamping that left foot, trying to get circulation in it. Brian, what a competitor. Here's Anderson driving, top of the key, goes down the paint, pulls up, and comes back out, driving with that basketball. Driving on the left side, works the corner to McNeil. McNeil on the dribble, has a pick for Anderson. Here's Anderson going all the way, reversing, spinning. His shot is up, and he's fouled in the act of shooting by Kirby. Boy, Anderson can put on a dribbling act. He is tough to trap. He can whirl, spin, drive, and score.
They called that one on Matt Blunden. That's his second 15 foul now on Virginia.
Out of bounds for the Jackets. Bobby Crimmins wanted a two-shot foul that time.
Did you think he deserved going out?
Certainly. He was in the act, but he was hacked. But it'll be out of bounds for Brian Oliver, Georgia Tech. Bobby doesn't get a technical foul. It's been 2.5 years before he's had a technical foul. The least technical fouls in the conference are called against Bobby Crimmins. And some advocates say that Bobby should work the officials more, but he's got his own way, and it's been working. Oliver into the corner to Anderson, rather to Brown. Brown comes way out, and a foul is called, a pushing foul on Virginia, and that'll be their 16th foul. Let's see who they call this one on. Whether it be Stith or who. No, it may not be a foul. Out of bounds for Georgia Tech. Dennis Scott will be a trigger man. 44 seconds. Dennis passing out to Oliver. And a foul called against Virginia's, well, that big second-string quarterback, Blunden.
He's picked up 3 personals, all 3 of his personals in the last minute now. And the next one will put Georgia Tech in the bonus.
16 foul against Virginia. Georgia Tech has 16 fouls. 2:34 on the clock. 58-47 Tech. Scott passing in to Carl Brown. Brown double-teamed in his fouls, and Brown will go to the lane for the 1-and-1.
We're going to call that one on Terry Kirby, Al. That's 2 on him, as you mentioned. From here on out, Georgia Tech and Virginia both will be shooting the bonus. Carl Brown will step to the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
58-47, the Jackets by 11, 2:33 on the clock in the championship game remaining. Carl Brown from Leicester, England, at the gift lane for the 1-and-1. Let's watch the senior. His free throw. In the air. Good. He draws the bonus. Tech 60, Virginia 47. That equals the Jackets' biggest lead of 13 in the ball game. Carl Brown for his bonus attempt. Tech trying to break the Virginia jinx. They lost 2 straight this year. Free throw by Brown is good. He cans through and nets 2. 61-47, Tech's biggest lead of 14. Crotty, way out court to Turner, to Crotty, to Turner. Turner's long and way out court. Air ball taken out of the air by Blunden. Blunden works the corner this time out to Anthony Oliver. His long one is in the air. No good. Rebounded by Blunden. He kicks it back out to Turner. Boy, Virginia's Turner's shot is no good. Rebounded by Blunden again. His shot. Oliver's tap is up and in. Anthony Oliver scoring for Virginia. And a timeout on the playing court for Virginia as Anthony Oliver taps it in with a score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Tech 61, Virginia 49, 2:07 on the clock. We'll be after this network break on the WCNN Basketball Network.
All over Georgia, State Farm agents are there, helping keep dreams alive. Suddenly, that little boy in the red wagon is driving the family wagon. And the little girl who could hardly stand in heels is walking down the aisle. Your life changes fast. That's why State Farm agents are there with a family insurance checkup to help you keep up with those changes. The advice is free, and the decisions are yours.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Listen to the latest tax tip. If you want to lower your taxes, buy a car. There's a good chance CNS Bank's new Tax Smart installment loan will let you deduct all the loan interest. Just use your house as part of the collateral. So if you want lower taxes and a better car, come to CNS. Ask your tax advisor if a tax-smart loan makes sense for you. We're CNS, where you belong. An equal housing lender.
Georgia Tech was leading 48-46 when Dennis Scott, Brian Oliver, and Kenny Anderson went wild. Scott nailed a 2. Then he came down and scored a 3-pointer. Brian Oliver countered with a 3-pointer. Kenny Anderson added a 3-pointer. And suddenly, Georgia Tech had amassed a 59-46 lead. At present, the Jackets' cushion is 12 at 61-49. 2:07 to play in the ball game. Dennis Scott with 16 points and 12 rebounds for the Jackets. Kenny Anderson has 18 points. Brian Oliver, 15 so far for Georgia Tech. The Jackets will inbound the ball. Virginia having just scored. Anthony Oliver on the stick back and then calling timeout to try and stop the clock. We'll again await the officials and see when they're ready to do it. It'll be Brown, Anderson, Scott, Oliver, and Johnny McNeil. Kirby, Crotty, Turner, Stith, and Matt Blunden for the Cavaliers of Virginia.
All right, pass in this time to McNeil, and there's a foul in the play. McNeil fouled on a pushing foul called against Kirby of Virginia. And McNeil, Johnny Mack will go to the gift lane. He has 2 points in the ball game. He'll go there for the 1-and-1. 61-49. 2:05 on the clock. Let's watch Johnny McNeil.
For Georgia Tech, now it's going to be simply a case of making those free throws and protecting the basketball with a 12-point lead. Don't gamble. Protect the ball and then nail the front end of that 1-and-1.
All right, let's watch Johnny McNeil for the 1-and-1 at the gift lane. McNeil's free throw. It's in the air. Good, he draws a bonus. Johnny Mack. Fine free throw artist. Tech 62, Virginia 49 with 2:05 on the clock. All right, let's watch Johnny Mack for the bonus attempt. It's in the air. In and out of there. Rebounded by Blunden, who clears the glass. Outlet pass to Crotty. Crotty driving, passing a timeline. In the offensive zone, gives off to Turner. Turner to Anthony Oliver. His 10-foot jumper is good. Anthony Oliver. And there's a timeout for Virginia to stop the clock with 1:55 remaining in the ball game. There's a timeout in the playing court with a score. Georgia Tech, 62. Virginia, 51. We'll be back after this network break on the WCNN Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
Hello?
Denise, this is Howard.
Howard?
Schimmelhorn.
Oh, hello, Howard.
Do you know what you ought to get, Denise?
An unlisted dauber?
No, you silly goose. New System 3 gasoline from Texaco.
Why?
Gives you more power from every octane.
Oh, good.
Helps keep new cars running like new.
That's nice.
And can help restore performance to older cars.
Swell, and thanks for calling.
It'll change your life.
It will?
Change mine.
It did?
So I thought we could go out tonight.
Did your dreams.
In my $80,000 sports car.
8 o'clock.
Texaco's new System 3 gasoline. It really is that good. Honest.
How many rebounds?
Back at the Charlotte Coliseum, 1:55 to play in the game. Georgia Tech leading Virginia 62-51 here in the championship game of the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament, and they have passed out the blanks for the all-tournament team. You got to like 3 Georgia Tech players on that first team, Scott, Oliver, and Anderson. I kind of like Anthony Oliver and Brian Stith of Virginia also on my first team. Anthony Oliver had a career high to help get Virginia this far into the finals in an early round game. And so far today, he has 13 points. He picked up 4 personal fouls, picked up 3 in the first half, got his 4th, and had to sit out most of the second half because he was shadowing Dennis Scott much of the game. Al, who do you like for tournament MVP here out of the big 3?
Well, it's going to be close against, I think, Brian Oliver or Scott or Anderson, any of the big 3. But, of course, the quarterback is Anderson. Scott and Oliver have filled it up in this ball game. Oliver has 15. Scott's the leading point maker in the entire tournament so far. So it's going to be close. between probably Scott and Brian Oliver.
It's a tough one to call. I also have Johnny McNeil from Georgia Tech on my second team. Now, you may not have the points that a lot of guys get, but Johnny McNeil has just played great for Tech. Henderson and Leitner from Duke also on that second team.
Brian Oliver will pass in for Georgia Tech in the backcourt. Then he's going to call Crotty for pushing Carl Brown. So Carl Brown will go back to the gift lane for the 1-and-1.
Well, for Crotty, that's his third personal now. The foul situation looks like this. Anthony Oliver with 4, then Crotty, Kirby, and Blunden with 3 each. Oliver will check in for Kirby now for Virginia.
62-51. Tech by 11. A 1:55 on the clock. Let's watch Carl Brown from Lester Ingham for the 1-and-1. His free throw. Rolls around and in. A lot of iron, but good. 63-51. Jackets by 12. Tech nearing the 1990 ACC tournament. It'll be their second ACC title. By Scott, and let's see. The official is going to call a foul on the play. And let's see. Will Scott go to the gift lane? Right. Scott will go to the gift lane for the 1-and-1.
Yeah, they're going to call it on Matt Blunden. He has 4 now for Virginia. 20 years later, Bobby Crimmins, who suffered such a heartbreaking loss in Charlotte as a player for South Carolina in the finals of this same tournament, losing to NC State, double overtime. 20 years later, Bobby Crimmins with a chance for a little payback.
They're going to give the foul to Johnny Mack for 1-and-1. Let's watch McNeil. His free throw is in the air. Good. He draws the bonus. 65-51. Tech pulling away by 14. That equals their biggest lead. McNeil from High Point, North Carolina. Randall Woodson with a thumbs up means the Jackets have it in the bag. All right. Rebounded by Turner. Turner gives it off to Crotty. Crotty passing a timeline, long range, and a blocking foul against Carl Brown. Paul Hoffman calls a blocking foul against Carl Brown.
That's certainly not what Bobby Crimmins wants, is to put somebody on the line for Virginia and stop the clock in the process. He'd rather make Virginia work the clock for the point.
The Georgia Tech team will arrive at Hartsfield Airport in Atlanta at 9:31 on Delta. Delta Airlines 795 flight number. All right, let's watch John Crotty, the left hand at the gift lane. Crotty's free throw is in the air. Good, he draws the bonus. 65-52. Tech's lead cut to 13. 1:41 on the clock. Crotty will go to the lane for the bonus attempt. Crotty, a left-hander, has 7 points in the ball game. Crotty's free throw is in the air. No good. Rebounded by Johnny McNeil. Outlet pass to Anderson. Anderson driving down court. In the offensive zone to Oliver. Tech spreads the offense to Anderson. To Scott. Scott underneath. Doesn't shoot. Kicks it way back out to Brown. Tech's going to milk the clock. There's Anderson driving. He's fouled by Kirby. So Anderson will go to the lane for the 1-and-1. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the WCNN Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
B92 WBTR Carrollton, serving West Georgia and East Alabama in FM stereo at 92.1.
Al Ciraldo, Dale Williamson, Jimmy Gladich back at the Charlotte Coliseum. At the gift lane, the left-hander Kenny Anderson for the 1-and-1. The free throw is in the air, rolls around, no good, rebounded by Turner. 65-52, Tech clock ticks, 1:20 remaining in the ballgame. Oliver to Stiff, long one is no good, rebounded by Carl Brown, who went high in the air. Carl's double team, he's called for traveling.
Well, the Virginia players surrounded poor Carl as he tried to get out of the pack. He twisted his feet. He thought he was slapped around a little bit. Didn't get the call, though.
Out of bounds for Virginia from the Virginia end zone, and the crowd doesn't like the call. Crotty passing in to Oliver. Oliver's long one out of the corner. No good. Rebounded by Johnny McNeil, who lost the ball and went in the hands of Stiff, and Stiff scores, and the basket is good, and he has a chance for a three-point play.
Well, if he can knock down the free throw, that'd draw Virginia within 10 points. It's 65-54 now. The Yellow Jackets with the lead. Foul is on Johnny McNeil, and that'll do it for Johnny Mack. He has fouled out of the ball game, and Malcolm Mackey will replace him for Georgia Tech. Brian Oliver today, re-injured that left ankle of his went out of the game at 13:20, came back 5 minutes later, and has really been a force for the Jackets here down the stretch. A real gutsy performance by the senior captain, Brian Oliver.
Free throw by Smith. No good. Rebounded by Malcolm Mackey. Mackey's outlet pass to Anderson. Anderson to Oliver. It works over to Scott. Scott driving, passing a timeline. And is fouled. Scott is fouled by Cook. Scott will go to the lane for the 1-and-1.
Al, you and I have selected Brian Oliver as the Texaco star of the game. We thank Texaco for their support of the Alexander Thorpe Scholarship Program. Congratulations to Brian Oliver, our star of the game today.
All right, Dennis the Great Scott will go to the lane for the 1-and-1. 65-54 Tech, 1:01 remaining. The Jackets are nearing their second ACC championship in 9 years under Bobby Crimmin. Scott's free throw. Good. He draws the bonus. 17 for Dennis. Anderson has 18. Oliver, our Texaco star of the game, has 15. Scott has broken Rich Young's season record of 815 points in a season. Scott's bonus is in here and good. 18 for Dennis the Great. Driving goes Crotty. Crotty passing underneath. Buddy by Cook is up and in. And a timeout is called for. Let's check it. Does Virginia want another timeout? No, they're going to call a foul on the play. No, they're going to call it. Let's check it. They can't make up their minds whether it's going to be a foul or a timeout. It's going to be Georgia Tech's ball out of bounds after the basket. Scott will be a trigger man. Out of bounds play set up. Scott passing into Oliver, Brian Oliver, and Oliver is fouled by Crotty.
Well, as we mentioned, now it's just a matter of the Yellow Jackets taking the free throws, and they'll ice this victory for Terry Holland of Virginia. He really did a fine job getting his Cavaliers here into the finals. In the opening round, Virginia rallied to knock off North Carolina in overtime. Then yesterday, the Cavs upset the top seed and regular season champion of the Atlantic Coast Conference, Clemson. Today, they stayed close with Georgia Tech. It was a 48-46 game until they're about midway through the second half. Then the Jackets pulled away.
Free throw by Brian Oliver is good. He draws the bonus. 16 for the Tech captain, our Texaco star of the ball game. 68-56, and the Tech crowd is standing up, roaring. They've got their 1990 ACC championship in the bag. Oliver's bonus is in the air. Good. Oliver cans the bonus. He has 17. Scott 18. Anderson 18. The big three having a good afternoon. Crotty's long one way out court is no good. Rebounded by Malcolm Mackey. And let's see, the official will call another foul against Virginia's Cook. Malcolm Mackey goes to the gift lane for the 1-and-1.
A parade of Yellow Jackets down to the charity stripe. So far, they've tried Scott, McNeil, Oliver, Anderson, and Brown, and really only had success with Kenny Anderson, who missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Otherwise, Carl Brown has been successful, as have all the rest of the Jackets. Let's see if Mackey can keep up the good free throw shooting.
All right, 3M at the gift lane. Bobby Crimmins decided to sit down now and take it easy on the Tech bench. He's been up and down, as you well know, Bobby's antics in front of the Tech bench during a ball game. Mackey for the 1-and-1. He has 8 points all in the first half. 3M set. His free throw. It's in the air. Good. Oh, he's learned how to shoot free throws here of late. 3 out of 3.
And the chant has begun now. ACC. The Georgia Tech fans going crazy behind them.
70-56. Tech by 14. Mackey for the bonus with 45 seconds on the clock. The big boy takes his time. His free throw. Rolls around and out of there. Rebounded by Turner. Outlet pass to Crotty. Crotty on the dribble, passing a timeline in the offensive zone. He works. Long one by Stith. Way out court is good. A three-pointer for Brian Stith, who has 17 in the ball game. The full court pressure's on. Here's Scott in the backcourt. Works it over to Brown. Brown driving, passing a timeline. Works it to Oliver, to Carl Brown. Brown dribbling that basketball and is fouled by Kirby.
That'll do it for Terry Kirby. He's out of here. This will be the 9th time here down the stretch, Al, that a Georgia Tech player will go to the line with a 1-and-1 situation. In the previous 8, the Yellow Jacket nailed that first free throw 7 times. It's 7 out of 8 in the 1-and-1 situation on the front end. Great clutch free throw shooting as the Jackets never let the Cavaliers back in once they extended the double-digit lead.
Leading the Georgia Tech crowd in ACC is Danny Crimmins, Bobby's older brother, out of New York. Free throw by Brown is no good. He missed one. Rebounded by Anthony Oliver. 20 seconds on the clock. Crotty driving his long one way out court is no good. Rebounded. Stick back is up and in. Cook on a stick back scores for Virginia. 70-61. Here's Anderson in the offensive zone. Here's a wild pass to Mackey. Mackey picks it up. They spread the offense. Long one by Mackey is no good. And there's the end of the ball game. Final score. Georgia Tech 70. Virginia 61. And for Georgia Tech, 24-6, which means they'll probably in all probability be one of the 8 teams that is seeded in the NCAA. Final score, Georgia Tech 70, Virginia 61. For Georgia Tech, their second ACC championship. They had a runner-up at 86. They won at 85, and they win here again. The Jackets will be in Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport at 9:31 this evening on Delta Airlines flight number 795. I know the youngsters would appreciate your greetings there and sending them off to the NCAA championship sometime next week, whether it's a Thursday or a Friday. Now, Coach Bobby Crimmins just met a star Dennis Scott at midcourt for a big hug. Other Jackets now. Brian Oliver has gone up under the basket, snipped off a couple of pieces of the net. Carl Brown is next, and here's Bob McCann with Coach Bobby Crimmins.
With Coach Bobby Crimmins, Bob. Sweet 5-year wait, but back for 1990. I know you wanted it for your dad.
They played great. This is a great moment for Georgia Tech basketball. I'm really proud of us. Brian Oliver, the jump shot. We attacked their defense. It was a great game and a great championship for Georgia Tech. This is a wonderful moment for me.
Coach, how about NCAA tournament time now?
I'm going to think about this, but we got to get ready for the NCAA. We got to figure out when we're playing, and then get ready for the next one.
All right, congratulations. Georgia Tech basketball coach Bobby Crimmins. Send it back to Neil Williamson.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bobby. So excited now at Dennis Scott. Bobby doing TV interviews already. Malcolm Mackey got a piece of the net. Johnny McNeil did. And now they're going to go to the other end of the court. Here's Brian DeMalik up on the step ladder to snip a couple. Al, I know this is going to be very pleasing for you, too. It certainly is, Neil. And they've worked. And now, once again, back to on the floor, Big Bob McCann.
ACC champion your freshman year.
Great. First time, everything. I just feel out. No words to describe it. I just feel great.
How about the performance of Brian Oliver, the senior leader?
Everybody played well, but gotta give a lot of credit to Johnny McNeil, Malcolm Mackey, everybody. But Brian stood out. He's a senior. He played great.
Kenny Anderson here on the floor with us at the Charlotte Coliseum as we continue to move now. Dennis Scott cutting down a piece of the net. The Yellow Jackets 1990 ACC tournament champions. And there is Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson, the freshman out of Rego Park in New York, taking a piece of the net here at the Charlotte Coliseum. Dennis Scott, sweet ACC tournament victory.
It feels good right now. All you.
Well, we've lost Bob McCann and Dennis Scott on the floor. Dennis and Bob are still in the interview. However, someone apparently has unclipped the wire mistakenly. The Yellow Jackets winning the ball game here, 70-61 over Virginia. 70-61, Georgia Tech with the second ACC tournament championship in the 37-year storied history of this league. Bobby Crimmins having pulled off one in 1985 in the Omni and now doing it here in the Charlotte Coliseum. Pandemonium down on the floor as the players take their turns going up the step ladder to snip pieces of the net.
Courtside at the Charlotte Coliseum.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Neil, we have it back?
We've got it back. Thank you very much, Bob.
October was September before we even came. Oh, we never really talked about it until the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, we said, man, if we get there, we're going to win it, man. We're going to win it if we get past that first game. And sure enough, it happened. I just feel so happy we won it.
Malcolm, this has to feel good as a freshman.
Oh, yes, it does. I can't even only want to say better come in first year and make it and win the championship because so too many people get to come to a championship game like this. I'm just glad to be here.
What was said at halftime now?
Halftime, we just told us regular things. We need to play together, toughness. We need to get tough like we were against Duke. And we came out here and played the best we could, and we won it.
All right, with us, the president of Georgia Tech, Dr. John Patrick Creason. And, Pat, I know this has to be sweet for you.
Oh, it's a great team effort, and it couldn't happen to a more terrific group of guys. Bobby Crimmins and Homer Rice have built a great basketball program. This is just the culmination, a hint of better things to come.
It's also amazing because they went up against a lot this afternoon, being the last ACC game for Terry Holland.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Holland is a classy guy, and we're going to miss him from the league. but I think the better team won today.
They had a tough bracket, but they got through it.
That's right. That's a team that all year has shown a tremendous amount of courage, and the ability to come back and hang in there, and the mental discipline to play tough defense, I think, has really paid off well in this tournament.
I know it means a lot to the Georgia Tech team and the fans to have you here.
It's a great turnout. Great turnout.
All right, Brian DeMollick is with us for Georgia Tech. Brian, you didn't see a lot of playing time, but your coach, Bobby Crimmins, is now going to go hoist it up to the net and cut down that final piece.
Yeah, this is great. This is the biggest thrill we've ever had. We worked hard all season. Coach is a great coach. Hey! We just did it. That's all I can say. I'm the happiest guy in the world right now.
All right, are you going to be keeping your buddy Dennis Scott around for next year?
I hope so. I think he'll stay now.
All right, congratulations. Brian DeMollick, the ACC tournament champion.